Aches and pains add up as we get older, but it's not our age we should blame. We instead need to assess our previous injuries and the rehab we did, as well as the prehab we're currently doing, because we can never stop doing what makes us better. Use it or lose it. Hey guys, it's Corey from Redefining Strength, where we help you move, feel, and look your best at any and every age. Maintaining our mobility means constantly working on our mobility, but it doesn't have to mean stretching for hours or full recovery sessions each and every day. Even just 10 minutes as our warm-up can really add up, and that time can help us get more out of our training sessions. That's why I want to share 9 moves that address not only commonly tight muscles, but also help improve your joint mobility and stability. These moves cover the full 3-part prehab process of foam rolling, stretching, and activation. This process is so key because the foam rolling helps start to relax tight and overactive muscles, so you can then stretch to restore muscles to their proper length-tension relationships while mobilizing those joints before you include activation exercises to engage underactive muscles and improve your mind-body connection. And at the end of this video, I'll share a quick mobility series you can do using all 9 moves. So let's start with 3 amazing foam rolling moves. First up is Peroneal foam rolling. Your feet and ankles are your foundation. Immobility there can lead to movement compensations up your body. And that ankle-butt connection is so key. It's why we need to address any previous ankle injuries, or we might end up with hip, lower back, or SI joint aches and pains. This is why Peroneal foam rolling is so key to include. To do this move, a ball works best. You're going to want to place the ball in the outside of your lower leg, starting below that bone outside your knee. You want to make sure that when you're applying pressure down into the ball, that you can relax the muscle as you're holding. If you need, you can use a larger ball or even a foam roller. Place the ball on the ground and then place your lower leg on top of it and press your hand down into your leg to press down into the ball. You can then gently circle your foot as you hold. If this is too much pressure or you can't seem to find the right spot, you can also just push the ball in with your hands. But you really want to make sure that you're applying pressure and relaxing the muscle and breathing. If you're tensing against the pressure of the ball as you're pressing in, it's going to backfire and actually make you tense the muscle more instead of helping it relax and release. So again, if you place it on the ground, you can place your lower leg over it and you can press your hand down as you focus on relaxing that foot and relaxing the muscle. Make sure to breathe as you hold. You want to target a few different spots on your lower leg, not just staying right below your knee, but take time to move the ball down even lower and then spend time in that spot as well. Move number 2 is TFL foam rolling. Hip pain, lower back pain, IT band issues, and even knee pain seem to add up as we get older. That's why we want to focus on our hip mobility and especially rolling that TFL or tensor fascia lata. This hip flexor muscle can not only hinder our glute medius from firing correctly, which can lead to hip stability issues, but it can also create tension through our IT band, which can lead to ankle aches and pains. To roll out your TFL, a ball works best. The larger or softer the ball, the less it will dig in. And if a ball is too much pressure, you can start with a roller. To locate your TFL, lie on your back and place your hands at the sides of your pelvis towards your hip bones, and then rotate your foot inward. You should feel your TFL flex. This also shows you how far reaching the connection really is. Then lie on your side, placing a ball below that muscle and relax over the ball. Breathe as you hold. You can lift and lower your leg to tense and relax the muscle to help it release. Move number 3 is chest foam rolling. Finding after years of hunching over your computer, your posture has become more slouched, upper back, neck, or shoulders tight and achy, then you don't want to ignore relaxing those pecs. Tight chest muscles can perpetuate that rounded posture and even inhibit your scapular movement or the movement of your shoulder blades. This can lead to not only poor posture, but also neck, shoulder, and upper back aches and pains. While it can constantly feel like there are trigger points or knots in our upper back and that everything is tight, it can actually be our chest muscles causing those muscles to be overly lengthened and feel that way. To roll out your chest, a ball in a doorway is often the most comfortable and easiest to control. Stand with the ball right inside that shoulder joint under your collarbone and press your chest into the ball in the door's edge. Using a doorway allows you to reach that same arm up in front of you as you hold and apply pressure. Reach your arm up overhead as you breathe and hold on the spot. You can also move your arm open to the side to stretch and relax. Then take time to adjust the ball either down towards your armpit or over towards your sternum. But be careful as you move away from the meatier part of your muscle. You do want to be careful as you work along that sternum in your pec. You can spend 90% of your focus around that shoulder where you'll even hit your pec minor. After foam rolling, you want to include some stretching. Especially if you're stretching prior to your workout, you want to include moves that are going to warm up your body and actually mobilize your joints so you can work through that full range of motion. The next move we'll look at is the ankle mobility and groin stretch. This is a great move to start working on your ankle dorsiflexion or the ability to draw your toes up towards your shin. Especially if you've worn high heels for decades or have been an endurance athlete, you don't want to ignore this amazing stretch. This is an amazing move to include if you want a more efficient running gait or to even squat deeper without hip and knee pain. And not only will this move work on your ankle mobility, but it will also stretch your adductors as you work to engage your glutes. To do this stretch, sit up half kneeling on the ground and move that front foot so it's in line with your back knee knee and facing perpendicular to that back leg pointing out. You want your knee to be in front of your ankle, although you can adjust the position based on your ankle mobility. Squeeze that front glute to pull the knee open and in line. Then shift your weight to drive that knee forward over the toe without letting your heel lift. Then relax back out of the stretch. Don't rotate towards the leg as you shift laterally. If this is too much pressure, move your knee back to be in line with your ankle. Or if you can't kneel, try standing instead while still focusing on that shift to drive the knee past your toe. Move number 5 is the bench hip stretch. Lower back, hip, and knee pain is something so many of us will experience in life, and it's often due to hip flexor tightness and a lack of glute activation. This hip flexor stretch allows you to focus on activating your glutes to stretch your hips while addressing each side independently. And by lying on the bench, you help yourself avoid arching your lower back to compensate instead of actually stretching out and mobilizing those hips. If you don't have a bench, you can do this off your couch, coffee table, or even your bed. To do this stretch, lie back on a bench with the bottom of your butt right at the edge and one leg hanging down towards the ground. The knee will be bent to about 90 degrees. Bend the other knee and hug it in slightly towards your chest. Holding that knee in, tuck the other knee up towards your chest, then focus on engaging your glutes to drive that heel back down towards the ground as you extend the leg back down. Feel your butt even kind of lift you a bit off the bench as you extend that hip and feel the stretch. Pause, then tuck the knee back in and repeat. Move number 6 is the active foam roller star stretch. A lack of thoracic mobility as we get older can lead to that humped back posture that none of us want. And it can also lead to neck, shoulder, and upper back aches and pains, not to mention lower back aches and pains. For instance, a lack of proper thoracic extension can lead to shoulder pain when overhead pressing, or us even arching our lower backs to compensate and seek out mobility since we can't properly extend our mid and upper backs. This star stretch variation is a great way to really isolate and mobilize our thoracic spine, as it's even easy to cheat in other spinal stretches and get mobility from other areas. To do this stretch, you'll want to use a roller or a block or anything similar that you can hold your knee onto so that you can prevent yourself from rotating out of your lower back. Bend your hip to about 90 degrees and place your bent knee on the foam roller to the other side of your body. Pull your knee across your body and press your opposite hand down into your knee to help stabilize. Put your other hand behind your head and then touch that elbow in front of your face down to the ground across your body. Then pulling with your back, you're gonna wanna rotate open towards the ceiling, stretching through your chest as you try and drop that elbow to the ground. Make sure you aren't just like flapping your arm, but actually twisting through your spine. Exhale as you try and relax the back of your shoulder towards the ground, then rotate close and repeat the movement. Move slowly and really focus on your back actually pulling your arm open so you can stretch out your chest. As you twist open, make sure you're holding your knee on the roller. You want to make sure that you're getting mobility out of your thoracic spine and not taking it out of your lower back. After you've done your stretching, you then want to focus on activation exercises to establish that mind-body connection and get those underactive muscles working. Move number 7 is single arm scapular push-ups. Scapular control is super key if we want to avoid neck pain, shoulder pain, upper back pain, even elbow and wrist issues. It's also key if you want to lift more or achieve that first full pull-up. And being able to isolate and truly control each shoulder blade is key, especially if we've had previous aches and pains that might make us compensate and overuse the other side. This move will really help you focus on that scapular retraction with a very isolated exercise that takes out elbow flexion. To do this activation move, set up facing a wall and place one hand on the wall at about shoulder height. Your arm will be straight out and make sure you aren't shrugging. Then keeping your shoulders down and arms straight, but elbow not locked out, pinch your shoulder blade towards your spine. Don't try to make this move bigger than it is and bend your elbows. Draw the shoulder blade towards your spine, then push the wall away to draw the shoulder blade back forward. Focus on this move being small and your upper back working. Move number 8 is the side plank clam. Core work is key. Most of us even seek out ways to include more. Because our core is the link between our upper and lower bodies, it's key we keep it strong to properly transfer force and react quickly in everyday life. And moves like the side plank clams can help us avoid spinal injuries and issues and also help us improve our hip and shoulder stability. They're a great way to make sure that we're strengthening our core to prevent knee, hip, and lower back aches and pains. This side plank variation will really target your glutes, lats, and obliques. To do the side plank clam, you're gonna set up on your forearm with your elbow under your shoulder and your knees together. This is a side plank from your knees. Turn your top toe down towards the ground. This helps you engage your glute medius better and helps inhibit that TFL from taking over. When you lift, you can place your hand on your hip or reach it up overhead. You wanna think about driving your hips forward as you lift up into that side plank position, focusing on that oblique working, the side of your bottom butt, and even the side of your top butt, really opening that top leg up. Don't just try and rotate open more though, really focus on pushing forward and almost stopping the movement with the side of your glute. You'll want to lower back down and then repeat the movement lifting back up. Focus on what you actually feel working as you do this movement. If you need to modify, you can place a little block underneath your forearm to lift it up so that you're actually doing an incline variation. Because there are multiple components to this movement, if you need to modify, you can also just do the basic clam. However, the basic clam is often a misused move, so I will link in the video description to another video on that exercise. Move number 9 is single leg reversed hypers. So many of us have struggled to engage our glutes, which ultimately results in lower back, hip, and even knee pain. Not to mention, underactive glutes can lead to ankle issues and injury. And often, because we aren't able to engage our glutes optimally, we compensate and rely on our hamstrings. When our hamstrings start to take over, we can ultimately end up with hamstring strains or injuries, not to mention perpetuate our lower back or knee pain. That's why moves like the reverse hyper, where we can isolate our glutes and learn to engage them first, are so key to include. And doing a single leg variation helps you address both sides independently. To do this activation move, lie face down on the ground and relax your chin or forehead into your hands. Bend one knee to about 90 degrees with the heel up towards the ceiling. Drive that heel up as you press your pelvis down into the ground. Feel your glute lift your quad up as you hyperextend your hip. Don't arch your lower back or use it to lift. And keep your hamstring relaxed, even relaxing your foot if you need. Focus on your glute lifting and then stopping the move. Pause at the top and lower down. This isn't a big move, so don't try and cheat and make it bigger. Because this move is really deceptively challenging, I am going to put a link to a longer video on this exercise in the video description. Now, how can you include these 9 moves in a quick mobility series? Set a timer for 30 seconds and perform 1 round through the series. If you're really focusing on doing this as a warm-up, you may consider 2 rounds through the last 3 activation moves. For more mobility moves and more on the 3-part prehab process, check out this video with a full body fix next. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe. We're posting new videos each week.